The files are located on the second floor, at the end of a long hallway. The fluorescent lights above flicker on and off. Open the door on the right. In the bottom drawer of a file cabinet, there it is, a folder labeled with 3 words that are poured onto stories. Stories of history, stories of people, stories of death. I'm Luke Poling, and this is Famous Last Words. Lest it be said that this program is speciesist, this week we're going to be talking about an animal and his final words. Alex was a gray parrot, but he was not a house pet. His role in history and scientific understanding was quite large for somebody so relatively small. Alex was an acronym for Avian Language Experiment. Alex was purchased by Dr. Irene Pepperberg, an animal psychologist, at a pet store in Chicago in June of 1977. Dr. Pepperberg was studying birds and believed that they were smarter than humans thought them to be. Alex's exact date of birth is unknown, but it's thought that he was around 12 to 13 months old when he met Dr. Pepperberg. It's pretty well known that parrots can repeat things that they hear. Things ranging from hello to goodbye to the final words of a murder victim, which is really a story we should talk about at some point. Dr. Pepperberg's research was designed to show that Alex could not only understand what was being said to him, but that he could then respond accordingly. How did she do this? Dr. Pepperberg used a system known as the model rival technique.
Come on, how many corners? What shape? What shape?
4. Corner.
4 corner, good boy.
Dr. Pepperberg used a system known as the model rival technique. It involved 2 trainers. One acted as the teacher, giving instructions and lessons, and the second acting as a fellow student alongside the animal. This rival would give both correct and incorrect responses and act as a rival for the teacher's attention. And it was in using this technique that Alex showed how special he really was. Alex learned over 100 words and could also identify 7 colors and 5 shapes. And if that wasn't enough, he could also understand difficult concepts like bigger versus smaller and same versus different. He understood the concept of personal pronouns using both you and I in conversation.
Look, what color bigger? What color bigger? Green. Oh, you're a good boy.
At just age 2, Alex could understand questions meant for 6-year-olds. One day, while looking into a mirror, he asked one of the scientists, "What color?" After they responded with the word gray, Alex learned the word and repeated it, making him the only animal to ever have asked a question. Even Coco the talking gorilla didn't have any questions for her doctors.
How many?
2.
And lest you think it was all work and no play for Alex, he liked to goof off too and skip lessons as much as anybody. When he got bored with his studies, he would reply, "Wanna go," and then make a fuss until he was brought right to the spot that he wanted to go to.
Go back. No,
Go
sweetie.
back.
No, you can't go back yet. You gotta...
You want some water?
All right. Do you want some water, or are you just asking to interrupt? You're just asking to interrupt. I know
Go
you.
back.
I know you. Okay.
As well as being the most advanced parrot in Dr. Pepperberg's study, he was the leader for his fellow parents, cheering them on and scolding them when necessary. If the example of him wanting to be moved wasn't enough for you, he also loved to boss around the humans at the lab, making them do his bidding. What makes Alex all the more remarkable is that, before Dr. Pepperberg's study, most people thought that birds weren't all that smart. Her research and the results she saw with Alex proved that, even though they have smaller brains, some species of birds are actually as smart as dolphins or great apes in their understanding. Alex lived for almost 30 years, and shortly before his death, he could count up to 6. He was working on 7 and 8, and demonstrated that he understood the concept of numbers when shown in different forms. For example, 4 blocks and 4 piano keys were the same when considering the number of items. Alex even understood the concept of 0 or nothing. Alex passed away September 6, 2007. His cause of death was not known, but is believed to be arteriosclerosis, a hardening of the arteries, a heart attack, or maybe even a stroke. No matter what it was, it is thought that he died quickly and without pain. Dr. Pepperberg started the Alex Foundation to continue to research the brain power of birds and have Alex be just the first in a series of communicative parrots. Maybe the death of an animal, even one as smart as Alex, doesn't seem like a big deal. Maybe Alex was just another animal in a lab, just another test subject. But maybe, and most likely, the folks working with Dr. Pepperberg and Alex took his death pretty hard. Perhaps in that relationship they established with him and developed over the years, they grew fond of Alex's personality and his various quirks, the way you would with any coworker with whom you spend a lot of time. So maybe the last thing Alex said to Dr. Pepperberg before his death struck them in a particular way. It was the same thing Alex said to her every night as she closed up the lab and prepared to go home. "You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow." Famous Last Words is a production of the Professional Production Company. It is written and narrated by Luke Poling. That's me. It is produced by Heidi Hegquist and myself. Our assistant producer is Sabrina Thompson. You can find the show on Instagram and Facebook under Famous Last Words Pod. And on our website, you can find full transcripts, credits, and much more, famouslastwordspod.com.